Today I wanted to talk about a little bit of financial stuff, I guess, because I had a weird conversation, a non-conversation with my dear mother. um, I will be fortunate enough to receive a little bit of money from, unfortunately, someone who passed away, but decided to give me some of her legacy. Um, and I was planning. I have a lot of ideas on what to do with that small amount of money. It's really not big. We're not talking about a six-figure kind of thing, not at all. Um, so with that money, I'm like, yeah, we're finally going to be able to move out of the place that we want to live, because we live in Southeast Asia and we would like to get closer to Europe. Um, and so I was exposing my ideas to my mother, and the first reaction that came through her was, up. Listen to me for a second. It's just an idea, and don't take it wrong. Please don't take it wrong. But I would suggest you to sit on this money and take a loan instead to do what you wanted to do. For example, investing in an apartment and buy, I don't know, $10,000-$15,000 apartment. And I didn't say anything because I've learned over the years to not try to contradict my mother straight away with logical arguments, because she can't hear them, because she's emotionally attached to her ideas, which I'm trying to not be. But it just didn't make sense with the kind of life that I'm trying to live, because we don't have any insurance or medical. I'm talking about medical insurance, those kind of things. We don't have a safety net. We choose to invest whatever we earn into ourselves, whether it's for health, for our business, for any kind of development that we can afford with that money. Sorry. And so when she told me that, my first thought was, why would I put myself in debt? I have the money. I literally have the money. Why would I put the money on a bank account with all the uncertainties of, hey, am I actually going to be able to withdraw that money one day? Because I don't really trust the system that's going on right now. And I think that it's going to fall at some point. And COVID has started showing us the signs that we are fucking manipulated all the time. Like, it's time to wake up and open your eyes on so many levels. It's time to bring yourself in communities and work for yourself, exchange, be in groups, because we're going to need each other. We need each other. We do. We are a majority of people who are suffering from this situation. And so when I have this little cash injection, I'm like, dude, just let's say, okay, for the sake of example, I'm gonna make up some numbers. Let's say I have a 20,000 envelope. I have 20,000 to invest, and I'm like, okay, moving all my stuff from one point to another is gonna cost me half of that money, let's say, with insurances, packing, paying the tax, importation on goods and shit like that. So let's say I have around 8,000 or 9,000 to invest, or 5,000, because I'm gonna keep some aside just in case. So let's say I have 5,000 to invest. Let's say instead of investing those 5,000 into, if for example I can find a house on leasing and say, hey, I'll give you 2,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 up front, and the rest I'll pay on leasing, as a lease. I don't remember how we said that, but basically, yeah, whatever money you pay as a rental fee, you put it toward the buying of the property. And I'm like, that would be a great idea for me, because I would be the owner of a place after that, and she's like, no, you should not do that. You should put that money aside and instead make it grow and take a loan of 5,000. It's going to be much easier to repay. But she doesn't understand that I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to have to owe someone any money. And this loan is probably going to come with some tax percentage that you have to pay back, of course, after that. Or it just doesn't make sense to me. For me, money is not something that's supposed to sit somewhere. And I understand that the big of the world will tell you that's what they do, and that's how they make more money, is by sitting on it for a while. But I also see a lot of people investing in properties, in real estate, and turning them into beautiful houses or complexes or whatever it is. And they're making a lot of money like that as well. But I don't know, it's like she doesn't understand that I don't really care about the same things that she cares about. That I did not try to follow the same path that she did. I didn't try to get a job in a company and stay in the same company for 40 years. I don't care about that. I don't want that for my life. I feel it's slavery. I don't want that. I want to do things that I enjoy and make people and share with people the things that I enjoy and do whatever I can to make money out of the things that I enjoy. It's why try to I don't know, man. We come from, I was raised by my mom alone, but sometimes I feel like we come from two different planets. Like the way that I feel about things and react to things and choose to see things seems so much different than the way she does sometimes. It's like she keeps voluntarily the blindfolders on. She decides to not check her own fears. She decides to just, yeah, it's good enough. The whole good enough thing. That was one of my previous videos. No, it's not good enough. It's not. It shouldn't never be good enough. That's why I don't want to have to take a loan that I'm going to have to repay after that and be in debt with an organism that I don't want to belong to. I don't want to be attached to any kind of bank if I can avoid. But of course I have to, because I still have to pay to get paid by my customers and pay my suppliers, things like that. But I mean, apart from that, I don't want to. I'd rather sit on the money in terms of real estate than sitting on the bank account. It doesn't make logical sense, because first, maybe because I don't trust the system, and I understand why a lot of people will say, oh no, you should invest in this and this and that, and I'm not saying I will not, but I'm looking for alternative systems more than the ones that are traditionally in place, because I don't want to be in big systems too much because when they collapse, they don't give a shit about you. No shit given. No, none whatsoever. So I'd rather, try to focus on building some kind of compound or community that will only gather people who are just willing to do their best to change their lives, to heal their trauma, to be around people that are not motivated by earning through others, but exchanging and interacting and just living a peaceful life in the end. And that doesn't mean we don't party, that doesn't mean we don't smoke weed. Sorry, I should probably erase that. But it doesn't mean we're boring. It means that we don't want to belong to the system that's been in place for generations now and that has proven to has reached its limits. It's time for that to change. And I mean, it's the same lines as how do you say that? Either misogyny or racism or homophobia. We are all the fucking same. That's just what it is. It's true. If you cut me, I bleed. If you cut my husband that is black, I'm white, he's gonna bleed too. If you cut an Asian guy, he's gonna bleed. If you cut a homosexual guy, he's gonna bleed as well. If you whatever, transgender, they're gonna bleed as well. We all have bones, we all have eyes, we all have the same kind of body structure. It's all about the fucking thoughts and the emotions that you attach to your fucking thoughts. And it's just very frustrating. Why don't you let people be, as long as they don't fucking hurt anyone? Doesn't need to I don't know. Why should people conform to everything that you want? No, let them be. Diversity is what makes us rich and richest as people, not in terms of resources. It's emotional resources. That's what should be our currency, emotional resources. You give me positive, I give you positive back. You know what? Deal. I'll take it. Yeah. You know. Maybe one day. But yeah, that was the thought of the day. Thank you for listening.